Hi Flosstube. I'm Darlene with Darlene Dion Designs. You can find me here under that name in a Facebook group, in Instagram, and I have an Etsy shop. Welcome back. It's been a month, exactly a month today. Today is November the 10th, 2023, and this is my Flosstube number 40. Yeah, so I'm happy to be back. I've got a few things to share with you. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 FFOs. I've got some previous finishes. I've got a couple of whips. I have a little bit of quilty stuff to show you at the end. I have 3 new patterns to tell you about. So yeah, I have a little bit of a life update. We'll do that at the end, and we'll jump right in with the cross stitch. I know that's what you're here for. So the first thing I want to show you and tell you about is a new sampler. I love samplers, love stitching them, love everything about them. And I've been wanting to design some. I did come across one in an antique shop here in Nova Scotia that I thought about reproducing. I was really surprised at the price, which I had no idea what an antique sampler might sell for. I figured maybe $200 to $300. I was figuring wrong. This one was for sale for $575, and I still have not totally convinced myself not to buy it. I may end up buying it. It is a Nova Scotia sampler, which it's from 1857. And the name on it is Amanda Bates, I think it is. Amanda, I think it's Bates. Anyway, yeah, I'm still debating on whether or not to do that. But anyway, I decided to design one of my own. And I wanted it to be in honor or memory of one of my Grammys. Both of my Grammys were very crafty, talented. One, my mother's mother, which I grew up just down the road from, she did a lot of quilting and a lot of knitting. And my father's mother, she lived with us for 5 years when I was preteen. She did quilting, knitting. She did beautiful crochet work. She taught me to quilt pieces together. She just always was doing something, always had something on the go. Anyway, so I decided to do the sampler in memory of her, and her name was Fanny Sabin before she was married. And when she married my grandfather, her name became Fanny Lewis. And she was born in 1899. And I like to think when she was about 10 years old, she would have been stitching samplers. But how would you know? Anyway, this is for my Grammy, Fanny. So it's FS, and the year is 1909, and she would have been 10 years old then. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I framed it myself. This is a very old frame that was in my stash. It had an old picture from inside a church in it. Pretty sure it was the church in Weymouth, Nova Scotia here, where my Grammy would have gone to church as an adult. Anyway, yeah. So I just put some of my favorite things on there. A house. I love stitching houses. A bird. A quilt block and flowers. A couple of borders. And I'm really, like I said, happy with how it turned out. I stitched it with DMC floss. And it's all full crosses. There's no half stitches or back stitches or anything like that. So, yeah. Anyway, like I said, I'm pretty happy with it. So it's FS 1909, and that's available now in my Etsy shop. I framed it myself, like I said. You get a quick peek at the lacing because it's nasty. Oh dear. This frame had a really old, rough piece of wood for the backer. So I don't know. I'll probably just cover it with a piece of heavy cardstock or something like that. I'm not sure, but anyway. I'm pretty happy. I love it. So that's in my Etsy shop now. This morning I had a finish, and I've been stitching on this for the last few days. It stitched up really quickly. I wanted to do I've been wanting to do a snowman on a spool for a while now. And so I decided to do a 4-part series. So this one is winter. It says on the sign, winter. Little snowman waving at us with a fun scarf and a little bird. So again, that's all DMC floss, full cross stitches except for the word winter. That's a few back stitches. And I finished it on a piece of sticky board and then a piece of foam board, and just put some white pom-poms around it. So pretty easy finish. I had a loop on it for hanging. Then I took it off, and then I thought, well, no, you probably should leave that on there. But I will put it probably back on, because I think I'll put it on my Christmas tree. But the other 4, I don't know if I'm going to want them to be ornaments. Or the other 3, I should say. I don't know if I'm going to want them to be ornaments. But they could hang like on a pegboard or something like that. So I may. We'll see. I only do Christmas trees. I don't do trees for other seasons. So anyway, that also, oh, this is, and I didn't tell, I'll finish this one. This is on 32 count gingerbread by Picture This Plus, Lugana. And I love this fabric for stitching snow. It's just, the snow just pops. So the white just pops so nicely on this fabric. So, did I say? Yeah, 32 count, Lugana. So that's what that one is. And I forgot to tell you what the sampler is. This is 36 count champagne by Fabrics by Rolanda. Linen. And it is 1/2. 1 thread over 2 threads. Whoops. Okay, so both of those are new patterns. They're in my Etsy shop today. Also, I showed you this last time, but I just wanted you to know that it is available now in my Etsy shop. I taught it. I had filmed this just before I went to Amherst to my previous one. I filmed just before I went to Amherst to the Fiber Fest, where I was teaching this in a class. And the day after I taught the class, I put it in my Etsy shop. So if you haven't seen it on my Instagram or anywhere else, it is available now. The pattern is available now in my Etsy shop. Okay. Those are my 3 new patterns. I'm looking at my notes here. Last week, in the last couple of weeks, I had 3 FFOs from pieces that I had stitched last year that I didn't get around to FFOing. I have quite a container full of things that need to be FFO'd. Anyway, the first one I did was Crow Creek. Crow Creek Saltbox by Pinker and Punkin, Melissa's wonderful, generous patterns that she shares with all of us. This one is Crow Creek. I stitched it on an oatmeal 14 count Aida. I trimmed it with, I've got some nice orangey fabric for the back, and I can't get over how well the trim matches the backing. The trim is Lady Dot Creates Jack. The color is Jack. Anyway, so I'm really, really loving this. So cute. So then the next day I thought, oh, I might as well do another one. So I got out this one, which is called, I think I wrote it down. Yeah, A Cold Winter's Day Dots Salt Box. I love this one so much. I love winter and I love pink and red. So anyway, and I put a floral French General fabric on the back. And I trimmed it in white chenille yarn, just a big ball of yarn that I got at Walmart. And you probably can't see it, but there's some, oh, you can see it a little bit maybe. There's some glitter in the chenille. Anyway, so this one is stitched on 28 count, like a mushroom Monaco. I may have dyed it myself, but I don't think so. Anyway, 2/2. So they're the same size. And the next day, I thought, well, I should finish something else. So I got this one out that I had stitched last year. This is from the Winds of Autumn book by Blackbird Designs. And this is called Waiting for the Harvest. I'm pretty sure I stitched it all in, got some dust on it, in 3371, DMC 3371. And I put the initials, these are my initials, DD. I put some brown paisley on the back, and I added a little bulb pin with some old buttons. So, pretty happy. 3 little FFOs in a couple of days, so that was fun. Now, what else have I got here? I've watched a lot of Flosstube in the last few weeks. I've actually had COVID since I seen you last. We had a ladies' day at our church, and this is just me making assumptions, but myself and 4 friends organized a ladies' day at our church, and we had about 120 ladies there. And my daughter was here. She came to play music with us. So Saturday, that was on a Saturday. Saturday night, she started not feeling well. So when she got up Sunday morning, she got ready and left and went home. She's about 3 hours away. And I felt as though she maybe had COVID, but I wasn't sure. And she didn't want to bother to test, which a lot of people aren't testing now. And by Sunday, my sister was there at the ladies' day too. On Sunday, she came down with something, and she also didn't test. On Monday, I started with something, and I tested negative. By Tuesday, I was miserable. I had body aches and fever, chills. Just I sounded like a man talking. And anyway, I tested negative. But on Wednesday, I tested, and it was positive for COVID. And then so many ladies that I knew that had been at this ladies' day, you know, I would hear that they had COVID, or this one had COVID, and that one had COVID. There was, I would say, just from the ladies there alone that day, there must have been about 25 of us that ended up with it. Like I said, not everybody tested, but those of us who did test. And then, of course, they spread it to their families and whatnot. But it wasn't a serious strain of it, but it's highly contagious. I just couldn't believe how fast it spread. But now it was contagious, but yet my husband was right here in the house with me the whole time. He never got it. Maybe he was a carrier and he just didn't have symptoms. But anyway, all of that to say, I watched a lot of Flosstube. I didn't feel like stitching a whole lot the first few days, but I did watch a lot of Flosstube. Anyway, I know I watched new ones to me, and some that I haven't watched in a while. I really enjoyed Two Needles Pulling Thread from Maine. They're great. I really enjoyed them. Christy from Crosshatch Quilts, she posted this week. Oh my, it's just, I have to drop everything when she posts, and if it's possible, and sit right down and watch, because she's way up there in my favorites. And there was just so many. I watch Creative Lee every Sunday morning, and I watch Mama Loves You GB every Sunday. She usually posts Saturday night, which is Saturday night here, and so by Sunday morning it's available. So sometimes Sunday or Monday, I usually watch both of them. Anyway, this week when I watched Mama Loves You GB, I don't know, it might have been Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, she talked about she was starting a sale for 2024 to stitch 6 of Melissa Pinker and Punkin Quiltings salt boxes, which is these ones that I just showed you. So I thought, oh yeah, I'm jumping on this one. So I said, yes, definitely, I'm in. I'm in. So Michelle had made up a document with as many of Melissa's houses as she could find on her blog. So they are kind of hard to find. If you go into the blog, there's a search bar, and you can put in freebie or Saltbox or house, and you'll get a bunch of them to come up. But they don't, I never can get them all to come up. Anyway, I think Michelle had 31 in her list. And when I went through her list and compared to what I had, there was a couple that I had that she didn't have on her list. So I had so with what she had and what I had, I think I had about 33. Then my sister has stitched a few. She had, I think, 2 that I didn't have. Anyway, I think altogether right now, I have 35 or 36 on my list. And I picked my 6 that I want to do next year. And of course I don't. These are the 6. I probably can't tell you all the names. This one is a blueberry one. There's a strawberry. That's a strawberry one. This one might be Heartline. Katie, I think. Katie Heartland's Saltbox. This one is maybe the Spring Greenhouse. This one is Christmas, a candy cane. And this one, something Viola or Violet, maybe. Anyway, those are the 6 that I chose. And I chose them before I seen the last 2 or 3 that we came up with. My sister has stitched Pumpkin Blossom, I think it is. And that one's really cute. So that one's kind of on the band, kind of on the fence whether I'm going to switch one of these for that. But anyway, there's just so many to choose from. And they're just so darn cute. And I posted about it on my Instagram, and so many people said, "Oh, definitely, I'm in. It's going to be a really good sale, and it's gonna have a lot of people participating." So, if you're interested, go to Michelle's most recent Flosstube, and go to the details, the drop-down box, and if you scroll down, you'll come to a section that has Pinker and Punkin quilting. And in there, she has the link to her document that she did up. Like I said, she had 31, and I think I chatted with her well, I didn't really chat with her, but we commented back and forth saying that she'd have to look for the ones that I had that she didn't have. So I don't know if she's added to that document now or not. But anyway, that's a good place for you to see them all in one place. But the links are there. They still take you to Pinker and Punkin's blog, because the point is to go to Melissa's blog and get them. I have a list of them with the links. I don't have it set up as a document, but if you want it from me, you can just message me on Instagram or email me. The best thing to do is email me, and my email address is in the show notes here. And I will email the list back to you with, hopefully, all the links work. So it's going to be a fun sale. Jump right in there. It's going to be really a good one. I'm looking for my pencil. Here we go. So there's that. I wanted to give a shout out to Daisy K's Primitives Flosstube, because she shouted me out. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. And I always enjoy her Flosstube. She does most beautiful stitching, just incredibly beautiful stitching and decorating. I love seeing her house and all the beautiful things that she's made. A couple of whips. Oh, I wanted to show you also 2 of the other Pinker and Punkin floss salt boxes that I had did. This one is the first one I did, and this is Winter Salt Box. And again, I stitched it on that gingerbread fabric. It just, the colors, the white Christmassy or winter colors just pop on that so nicely. So that one is 32 count. It's just a tiny bit smaller than the other 2 I've got done. And then the other one that I have done is, oh my, what's it called? Dots. I think it's Dots. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, I stitched it in memory of my maternal Grammy, and this was Dorothy May Wright. Her maiden name was Wright, and she was born in 1917. Anyway, I just love them. So I have the 4 of these all done. And I have them all together in one cabinet in my living room right now. Eventually, I hope to have enough made that I can have, like there's room for 4, maybe 5 in that cabinet. I'd like to have enough done for each season for like 4 for fall and 4 for winter. And this one I'm stitching, I have been stitching over the last few weeks. This is Christmas Eve Saltbox. And this one I'm stitching on 36 count linen. And the color, I think the sticker is still, yeah. The color is Stars Hollow. Can't see it. And so it's quite a bit smaller than the other 2. It's tiny. It'll be cute. Or the other 4, I should say. It'll be cute when it's done and you can see them together. So there's not a whole lot left to do. There's a tree on this side. There's a little snowman here. Sorry, there's a tree here and a snowman here. And then there's a row of, I want to say, quilt blocks. Oh, let me show it to you. I think I've got the picture of it here on my iPad. Yeah, it's quilt blocks at the bottom. Anyway, and all of these, I didn't say, all of these patterns that Melissa shares with us are free. She generously shares them all with us for free. She's just the nicest lady. So I've chatted with her several times on Instagram, and she's a very lovely lady. Okay, another whip, a very little bit on this. I showed you this last time. This is Love Your Family. This was my anniversary start that I did last month. And I added a tiny little bit more to the house. I think just this little bit here. Okay, so that's my 2 whips. Everything else I finished. Well, everything else that I worked on this month, this past few weeks. Okay, I think that's all for my floss tube. For my cross stitch, I think. I went to Fiberfest. I told you that in Amherst. It's a fiber related festival that the town of Amherst hosts every year, and it's just so uplifting and inspiring. Oh my goodness, there's so many beautiful things to see. And I participated in the Zonta Bazaar on the Saturday, so I had a booth there, and I did really well. There was a lot of people in, and it was nice to see so many people that I haven't seen in a long time because of COVID, so that was fun. Yeah, we just had a really great time. We of course, several of us hung together and had lunch together every day and supper together every day, and yeah, we had a great time. Anyway, I was beat when I got home, but that's okay. I recovered. I shopped a little bit while I was at Fiberfest. There is 1, 2, 3 quilt shops within 20 minutes, probably. So I hit all of them. We had thought we would get to Moncton. There's a cross stitch shop and 2 quilt shops there, but we ended up not being able to get there. But that's okay. We'll be there again. And I picked up some new fabrics. 2 fall ones that I did not get a chance to use this fall. I bought these with the intention of making project bags, but they will happen next fall. So I love this pumpkin fabric. Isn't that pretty? And then I don't know if this is actually a coordinate, but it goes really nicely with it. So I got that. And I got these 2 Christmassy ones. And I got all of these at Oso Savvy in Oxford. So if you're in Nova Scotia and looking, she's a new quilt shop to me. First time I had been there. Really nice lady, cute little shop in her home. So if you're looking for that, you can find her on Facebook and see her address there. And then I have 3 more fabrics here that I don't remember where I got. I don't even know if I got them that week. I'm losing it. Don't know. Anyway, one is a Grinch fabric. Oops, upside down. Still upside down. That's better. Okay, so cute Grinch fabrics. And then I got this one. I love these black and white prints. This is all bees and dandelions and gardening stuff. So this will be fun for bags. And then just a yellow, orange, checkered gingham to go with them. So I don't know where I got them. That's really bad. Anyway, so that was my haul, the little bit of haul that I had. Quilting, a little bit of quilting to tell you about. I've been watching, I know some of you followed me for earlier in the year, and I was doing an English paper piecing. I should have had it here to show you. It was a honeycomb pattern, and there was a prompt each week to do a different fabric or a different technique, and I did that for several weeks, and I couldn't keep up with it. Part of the problem was my fabric. A lot of my fabrics are Civil War type fabrics, country fabrics. I don't have a lot of theme fabrics, and a lot of the prompts were for like animals or food or stuff like that. And I have some theme fabrics, but not a lot. And I didn't want to go out purposefully and buy fabrics to do 4 little honeycombs for this little thing. So I decided to let that go. But I had been kind of itching to do some English paper piecing, but I knew I wanted to only use fabrics that I had in my stash to use up some of these older fabrics. So I don't believe there's any such thing as an ugly quilt. There probably are some ugly fabrics, but when you put them all together in a quilt, you end up with a beautiful quilt. So I decided, and I'm not saying any of these are ugly fabrics. I'm saying they're fabrics that I don't always reach for. And some of them have been in my stash for years, and I knew I just needed to use them. So I just decided to do a simple hexie. Trip around the world. So, I'm starting and I'm building all the way out. So, can't really see. There we go. So, I'm going to try to fussy cut every so many rows, like so that brown stripe is fussy cut. And right now I'm doing this black stripe that's fussy cut. But again, a lot of my fabrics just don't lend themselves to that a lot. But I'm just using up fabrics, just getting fabrics out of the cabinet that have not seen the light of day for years. So I don't have any definite timeline. It's just something to work on when I'm kind of not in the mood to do anything else. They're 1-inch hexagons, just something fun. And you might as well start all the things. Let me see. I finished a quilt this week that when I had my shop, for those of you that don't know, I had a quilt shop in my nearby town for 5 years, from 2013 to 2018. And I closed at the end of 2018. And one thing I did while I had the shop was what we called a block of the week. And I had so many people come in and say, oh, I don't have time to quilt. I love quilt shops. I love quilting, but I don't have time to quilt. And I was like, I don't believe you. You do have time to quilt. Now, I will say that if you don't have a sewing room or a space set up that you can leave your sewing stuff set up all the time. It is kind of a pain to have to set up the sewing machine every time you want to sew. But I would find a place. I would have to find a place. If I didn't have a sewing room, I would find a closet. I would find a corner of a room. I would find a way to do it. And I would leave my sewing machine set up so that I could sew a little bit every day or every week if I wanted to. So my intention was to, at that time, was to design a simple, or to start a simple sew along that people could make a block in 20 minutes or half an hour. And so we called it the 52-week, 52 block. I don't know. It was 52 weeks anyway. And I think we did 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we did 5 or 6. I had the shop for 5 years, but I'm pretty sure we did a year after I closed the shop too on my Facebook group. So that one, I had it finished to the point where all of the blocks were sewn on, but it wasn't a big quilt, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to make it bigger or if I wanted to just finish it the way it was. But I did decide to put another border and then put a border of piano keys. So I did that, and I finished that this past Monday. And I had been working on it the Friday before I was at Guild, at our local Guild, and I worked on it there. And then Monday I finished it. And it's off to the quilters right now, so I can't show it to you. But I will have the pattern available. Hopefully next time I do a Flosstube, I will hopefully have the pattern available. And Tuesday morning when I got up, I was like, well, I feel kind of lost. I don't have this quilt here to work on anymore. So I have tons of scraps. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 baskets right there full of all random sized scraps, besides my little cabinet here that's full of like fat quarters and yardage. Anyway, so I've always wanted to do a block of a day of some sort, and I've always wanted to do a tiny 9-patch block. So I decided to do a 9-patch a day. So I posted it, I made my first block, and I've got quite a lot of people wanting to join in. So this is the first 3 days, and then this morning I did, well, yesterday morning, and then today I did 4 and 5. So I'm on the 5th day. That doesn't seem right. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I guess I must have started it Monday afternoon. Yeah. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5. So I've got 5 done now, and I'm aiming for 340. I'm setting them on point, and like I said, I'm aiming for 340. If I miss a day now and again, I'm allowing myself like 25 days of grace there. A year from now, I'd like to have this done. But it would be like a double size quilt, and then I'll decide at the time whether I want to make it bigger. My squares, I'm cutting my little squares 1.5 inches, and my setting squares are 3.5 inches. It's all on my in my Facebook group, and it's on my Instagram page if you're interested in following along and joining us. And there is a hashtag. I'll put the hashtag in the show notes below. It's 19patch, the words 19patch a day. So if you follow along, if you join us, please use the hashtag, and please tag me in your posts. I would love to see them. So that's the quilting I've done over the last few days. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully I can keep up. Yesterday I took that quilt that I had finished on Monday to the quilter. So I left my house about 7:45 in the morning, and I was able to get my block done before I went. So yeah, it's like a 10-15 minute block. Set yourself up a little place to leave your sewing machine set up. And so 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. I have this little, I have this little apple-shaped bowl full of 1.5 inch squares and all of the triangles that I've already cut in this little bowl, and that's what I'm working from. So as I see fabrics, or as I take fabrics from something else that I'm working on, if I have a little piece left over, I cut that into little 1.5 inch squares, put them in that bowl. That's what I'm working from each day. And then I have a basket over here full of off-white scraps, white and off-white scraps, and I reach into that each day to take out a scrap to cut a 3.5 inch square. And I'm sewing them together as I go, because I know myself so well. 365 days from now, if I haven't sewn them together, it'll be another 365 days times 3 before I ever sew them together. So I'm doing it as I go. Wish me luck. I don't want to lose interest. I don't want to lose momentum. I want to keep going. We'll see. If you see me do a floss tube and I don't show it to you, come on to me. Anyway, that's it for quilting and stitching and all the things. Weather, we've had a little bit of snow, 2 or 3 days. On the south shore of the province, they had one day, must be a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago now, they got bombarded with snow. They had like 5 or 6 inches, and it only lasted a day. But we didn't get anything that day here. But a couple of days this week, we've had some snow. Not enough to really collect on the ground or anything like that. But yeah, it's fall. It's fall. Time change. It's dark. I love it. I love this time of year. I love the time change. I don't love that it messes with your sleep and all of that, but I love the earlier evenings. The cozy. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope to be back, in 3 weeks or a month, thereabouts. Christmas is coming. It's a busy time. Oh, I meant to tell you, I'm involved in, for those of you that are new here, I'm involved in local amateur theater, and I'm involved in the upcoming production of A Christmas Carol, which is one of my very favorites, and this is the second time I've been in the Christmas Carol. This time I'm playing Mrs. Fezziwig. Oh dear, she's a jolly old soul, and I think in the description it says, what's the word? Abundant, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, it definitely suits me. So that's coming up 2 weeks from this weekend. I will be doing that. And so I'm heavily involved in rehearsals right now and costume making. So yeah, I'll be busy over the next few weeks. So if I don't make it, in a month, I'm hoping that between now and Christmas, I'll be back to say hi and wish you all a Merry Christmas. Tomorrow is Remembrance Day here to honor our veterans and to remember all of those who sacrificed for us and have gone where we certainly hope never to have to go. The world is kind of in a mess right now as far as peace goes. It's not very promising. So remember your veterans, and what more can I say? It just, yeah, it's a sad state. Anyway, not to leave you on a sad note, but happy Remembrance Day tomorrow. Take a few minutes to remember. And happy stitching, happy fall, all the things. Yeah. So I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Bye.